This is life in the 1900s newspapers. On this channel, we read old newspapers together. Today, we will be reading a 1928 edition of the Augusta Herald. Before we begin, we're going to focus on one of the more famous people in the 20s. Her name was Theda Bara.
Fox presented the world with the first great movie VAMP, Theda, whose exotic screen romances brought a nationwide storm of censorship.
She was known as the original VAMP. A vamp in 1920s slang is a woman who uses her charisma and beauty to charm men into doing what she wants them to do. One of her most famous silent movie roles was in the movie Cleopatra. If you stay tuned to the end of this video, you will get a special treat: many pictures of Theda Bara, the very first vamp. Now for the news articles in the Augusta Herald from Augusta, Georgia, dated February 23, 1928. It takes you back to the mountains, a spicy morsel of the exhilaration of the mountain air, a pinch of the sparkle and coolness of a mountain stream, a dash of sunshine and clear skies. That's the magic formula for the flavor of Clark's tea berry gum, only 5 cents. Dorothy Dix's letterbox. Dear Miss Dix, I often read in the letterbox missives from men pleading for the old-fashioned girl who wears her skirts and her hair longer and who doesn't pet or smoke or paint. Good. But the thing that gets me is this: why don't these men pay that kind of girl some attention? Why do they leave them to sit at home alone while they rush the flappers? Personally, I can't do the things that it takes to make a girl popular. I won't drink and pet and smoke, so it seems that I am doomed to be on the edge of things. Signed, Not a Prude. Answer: perhaps the reason why the girls who dress modestly and who are refined and ladylike in their demeanor do not have many dates is because there are not enough young men with high ideals of womanhood to go around. New Brunswick, New Jersey. Usable gas is now being produced from sewage. According to Dr. William Rudolphs at the New Jersey Agricultural Experiment Station, a disposal plant in a city of 50,000 is producing from 16,000 to 25,000 cubic feet of gas daily. The gas, he says, has a heat value which is higher than natural gas and represents a saving of 10,000 yearly. I'm in an awful fix. I met a young man who was dear, and we fell in love at first sight. He called me at my home last week, and our dog bit him. He then left in a rage, and I have not heard from him since. Did you ever hear of a similar case? Signed, Gladys. Yes, we heard of a case just like it. The dog had been raised in a home where everybody smoked old golds. Consequently, he had never heard a human being cough. The young man caller smoked an inferior cigarette and, of course, coughed loudly throughout the evening. The dog thought it a challenge. Favorite jokes of famous people. Today's joke is from Little Jackie Coogan. His best joke is, the minister called at a home one Sunday afternoon to see the man who lived there, but the man wasn't at home, so the little man's boy had to answer the door. Is your father in? The minister asked. No, said the little boy. Pa ain't at home. He went over to the golf club. And then the little boy thought maybe he shouldn't have said that, so he added, he ain't going to play golf on Sunday. He just went over for a few highballs and a little game of stud poker. Did you know that Jackie Coogan, when he grew up, played Uncle Festus on the Addams Family? Must be married. Tommy, what is the greatest water power known to man? Alec, women's tears. It's time for our boarding house. Today, you will get 2 comics. Well, Jake, the major beat you. He held the singing note 2 seconds longer than your time of 17 seconds. You owe him a cigar, so you'd better start out to borrow one.
Ha! And I did it sitting down, egad. If I were you, Jake, I'd seek a cave to crawl in after such a defeat. Umph. What a braggadocio you are, thinking you could best me at holding the last note of a song. Ha! Shut up, you big sea pig. If your lungs can hold more wind than mine, it's because you talk more about yourself. If you want to lose some money, I'll bet I can eat more soda crackers without water than you can.
Good thing I was out to a card party the other night when you 2 featherheads put on a howling contest. Mrs. Miller next door was telling me she thought somebody had a toe caught in a mousetrap. If I'd been here, you'd have gone up the street shrieking like a fire siren.
I heartily agree with you, my dear. My singing, as you know, wouldn't offend the most sensitive ear for melody. But I am sorry to say, Jake's effort was akin to a calf knee-deep in a bog. Listen, Martha, this big swindle known as your husband, and an apology as my brother, was the sour note, who had found mothers running upstairs to hush frightened kids. I've heard better moaning at a seance than his singing.